And friends, so I stand tonight with Reverend Dr. Peter Hetzel and my dear friend and partner, Rabbi Ari Frickas, and we introduce our special guest tonight, a young man in his 20s, Executive Director of the Foundation for Ethical Understanding. Won't you give a warm welcome to Mr. Will Eastman? We're going to have, yes, Ms. Little and Judge come right on up.
As the president of Congregation Da'at Elohim, it gives me great pleasure on behalf of Melissa Little, who is
Just a representative
of the church, it gives both of us enormous pleasure in presenting this certificate of appreciation to the Foundation for Ethnic Understanding.
Thank you. As I said before, I am young. I'm actually younger than the Foundation for Ethnic Understanding, which was founded. So, can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me now? Yes. One moment. Let's do this. My name is Will Eastman. I'm the Executive Director of the Foundation for Ethnic Understanding. Founded in 1989, we have two missions: to strengthen Black-Jewish relations, was our original mission and our founding mission, and to strengthen Muslim-Jewish relations. So on behalf of RabbiMarc Schneier, the founder and president of our foundation, Mr. Russell Simmons, the chairman of our board, and our board and officers, we gladly accept this award. And we thank you kindly and graciously and humbly for welcoming us into your home. Are we having a little trouble here? I don't like a microphone, guys, I apologize. So I humbly request it. I humbly accept this award on behalf of them. Tonight is a very special night. Today is a very special day. And I'd just like to say a few words about our foundation, what we're currently doing, let you know how I got involved, now that that's really as important as all of you. And I want to go from speaking to you to speaking with you and have more of a conversation, because I think that that's more exciting, it's more interesting than listening to some kid who can barely shave speak. So as I said, the original goal of our foundation was Black-Jewish relations. And the specific goal was to return Black-Jewish relations to its golden age that was experienced during the Civil Rights Movement, when Blacks and Jews marched with their feet and with their prayers during the Civil Rights Movement, whether it was Rabbi Heschel or Rabbi Joachim Prince. They stood together, and in return, Dr. King stood up for the Jewish community when it faced anti-Semitism, whether here in America or the plight of Soviet Jewry, which was and still is under so much scrutiny, so much hatred. Dr. King stood with the Jewish community just as the Jewish community stood with him. No segment of American society stood with Dr. King as much and as proportionately as the Jewish community. So that historical model of cooperation led us to understand that we believe no group should fight hatred alone, that we're only as strong when we are united. So we took that principle of Black-Jewish relations of the American Civil Rights Movement, and we applied it under the direction of our chairman, Russell Simmons, who is neither Muslim or Jewish, to taking upon what we believe is God's work in Muslim-Jewish relations. The tensions between Muslims and Jews does not reflect the commonalities between those people. So in 2007, we started our Muslim-Jewish project, and we have seen in 6 years, now going on our 7th year, a growing coalition of Muslims and Jews who are willing to stand up together for one another. What are they standing against? In 2012, the State Department issued a report saying that all across the world, anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim bigotry are rising faster than any other form of hatred. So what is the purpose of Muslim-Jewish relations? It's really to combat that hatred, to encourage Muslims to condemn and combat anti-Semitism, Holocaust denial, to encourage Jews to stand with their Muslim brothers and sisters and condemn anti-Muslim bigotry, Islamophobia, and the like. Our signature program is the Weekend of Twinning, which occurs each fall. The Weekend of Twinning encourages Muslim and Jewish organizations, whether rabbis, imams, mosques, synagogues, community centers, to exchange and hold cultural programs, religious programs, similar to the program we're holding tonight, with the inspiration of their forefather Abraham. Abraham was a man known for his chesed, his kindness, his loving kindness. And he is the father of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Yet, those three religions often find themselves more times in disagreement. So, with the Weekend of Twinning, we encourage Muslims and Jews to return to that model of understanding, to return that model of Abraham, which is loving kindness, and to do acts of charity, to stand up for one another. For example, in Rockaway, New Jersey, this past fall, a mosque was vandalized with swastikas, which the Jewish community can understand. And who better to stand with the Muslim community of New Jersey than the Jewish community of New Jersey, which understands the meaning of a swastika and how it isn't a joke. It isn't a bunch of teenagers having fun. It's a serious thing. So we really go behind the principle of standing up for one another. We believe interfaith dialogue is great, but at the end of the day, if all we're doing is speaking and there is no action, it's not going to carry forth. It's not going to change the world. It's not going to do much more than carry it forth in this conversation that we're having. So I want to have a conversation with you guys, but more than that, I want to encourage you to get involved with the Foundation's programs, which take place here and in 35 countries around the world and all 6 populated continents. I could go on and on. I want to just also comment on the prior speakers. We spoke very much about loving thy neighbor as thy oneself, as thyself. Excuse me. I'm not a rabbi, and I'm not a pastor, so forgive me. A commandment in the Torah that's repeated more times than love thy neighbor is love thy stranger. Love the stranger as thyself. So it's to say that the person across the street from you, as well as a person you've never met, should be treated with love and kindness and respect. I hope that we live by that principle as much as, and remember that principle as much as we remember love thy neighbor. I believe it's as important, maybe even more important. And I want to remind us that Rabbi Heschel wasn't the only American Jewish figure who stood with Dr. King. In fact, the person who spoke before Dr. King gave his infamous I Have a Dream speech was Rabbi Joachim Prince. Rabbi Joachim Prince was the rabbi of Berlin when Hitler came to power. Certainly a man who knows the face of hatred as well as anyone. And I can very proudly say that he left Germany to come to the greatest state in the Union, New Jersey. I apologize, Mississippi, New Yorkers. It's New Jersey. And he settled in Newark, New Jersey, which, as many of you know, is a majority-minority city. African Americans are the majority, and then followed by Hispanic Americans, and then followed by white Americans. So here's this Jewish man in a very diverse city, and he got involved with the civil rights movement. So as we know of Rabbi Heschel, I want to remember also Rabbi Prince, who inspires me. It's why I'm here today. People like Rabbi Prince, Rabbi Heschel, Dr. King. Just as Dr. King so eloquently put forth how we are all connected when he said in the letters from a Birmingham jail, we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. He said that, and he was living by principles shared by our Jewish and Muslim brothers and sisters. Right before the I Have a Dream speech, Rabbi Joachim Prince took to the microphone and delivered these words, and they really compel me to act, and I believe that it compels our foundation to act. He said, when I was the rabbi of the Jewish community in Berlin under the Hitler regime, I learned many things. The most important thing that I learned under those tragic circumstances was that bigotry and hatred are not the most urgent problem. The most urgent, the most disgraceful, the most shameful, and the most tragic problem is silence.
That's right.
Thank you. So the foundation believes that we must not be silent in the face of rising hatred, whether it be anti-Semitism, whether it be Islamophobia, anti-Muslim bigotry, racism in this country. We mustn't be silent because hatred isn't silent. Bigotry is not silent. Ignorance is not silent. They're loud and they will continue to divide us unless we stand up for one another. So that's the ethos of the Foundation for Ethnic Understanding. That's why we're here. Since 1989, we've been serving this mission of standing up for one another. Again, I humbly accept this award. I've only been on this earth 23 years, and I can say that the people who have walked before me are the ones who inspire us. I encourage you guys to learn more about the foundation and to speak with me afterwards. But really, what I want to do is have a conversation. So I'll invite the pastor and the rabbi to join me and to really have a conversation with the crowd, how we can use this model of standing up for one another and actually make an impact in our lives the way that Heschel and King and Prince and so many others did before us. So I will gladly stop talking and boring you and pass it over to the rabbi.